Bradford City continue their 2024-25 EFL Trophy campaign with a trip to Villa Park to take on Aston Villa's under-21s, and in today's video you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this match if I was Graham Alexander. Now my team Bradford City, we're currently sitting 8th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 24 matches we've got 10 wins, 8 draws and 6 defeats, scoring 33 goals and also conceding at 27, which leaves us on a positive 6 goal difference and 38 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a win, a draw, a win and a loss. Our Christmas form was pretty decent in all honesty. In terms of them last couple of matches then, we had a 3-1 win at home to Grimsby Town. Obviously no game for us yesterday. We were meant to play away to Bromley, but obviously they were in the FA Cup third round. I believe they lost away to Newcastle. So we've had quite an extended break, around 10 days or so, which has been very nice considering I think we played 4 games in 9 days or something crazy like that. This one though against Grimsby was our last match, and it was probably one of the best performances we've seen at Valley Parade in a number of years. We were absolutely excellent from minute 1 to 90. Their goal comes from a set play and it's just poor defending. I think Sam Walker should do better with it in all honesty, but great to see Lewis Richards on the score sheet again. Richie Smallwood scored an absolutely exceptional penalty, and Alex Patterson as well, proving his quality. I think if he gets a nod in this one he could absolutely tear Aston Villa's academy apart, but as you can see by the stats we absolutely dominated this game and it was a really good performance. We also had a 2-2 draw away to Barrow. I think Andy Cook's injury inside the first 5 minutes, which obviously has unfortunately been confirmed as an ACL, really did disrupt the flow of this game. Despite taking the lead, Barrow did turn it around. Just 2 again individual errors, Baldwin giving away a really silly penalty and Sam Walker should save both goals, but especially the second one. Absolutely shocking goalkeeping. Clark Adore thankfully did rescue a point for us with that late goal, his first goal of the season. It was quite an even game, but in terms of the quality of the goals, I think we probably know that we should have won that game, and it was an extra 2 points dropped. I think with them 2 points we currently be sat in the playoffs. We also had a 2-1 win at home to Chesterfield. Obviously we scored with our only 2 shots on target in the match. They dominated the ball, their goal was quite scrappy, and even though statistically it looked like they were the better of the 2 sides, we scored a really nice goal through Bobby Poynton. Great play from Sarcevic and Patterson, a really nice finish from the homegrown talent, that is what we're going to call Bobby Poynton. And obviously Anthony Sarcevic's goal was an individual error from, I think, Grimes is it, the centre half. Sarcevic rounds the keeper, finishes very nicely for his first Bradford City goal, and it was very nice for us to get back-to-back home wins, because obviously before that we had a 2-1 win at home to Port Vale. The last time Andy Cook is going to score in the 2024-25 season, scored a brace. I mean, that first goal, what a way to go out on, absolutely unbelievable strike. Yes, they pulled a goal back for a pretty decent finish of their own, but Andy Cook would score from a set piece, a lovely header into the back of the net, and obviously Tom Sang was then sent off for the visitors, and that was obviously a brilliant 3 points for us considering how good Port Vale had been so far this season. And then we had the 3-0 defeat away at Notts County. 3 goals conceded in 4 minutes, absolutely terrible. Didn't really deserve much out of this game. If it finished 5-2, I don't think anyone would have really complained, but we're not going to dwell on that. We've been very positive over the last couple of weeks, so we're moving on from it. In terms of how our opposition have got on then so far this season, in terms of the Premier League 2 table, you need to scroll all the way down to 25th to find Aston Villa. After 10 matches, they've got just the 2 wins, 1 draw and 7 defeats, scoring 13 goals but also conceding 28, which is one of the worst defences in the entire division. It leaves them on a minus 15 goal difference and 7 points. The last couple of matches have been a loss and a loss. They're in absolutely horrendous form at this moment in time. Only Stoke City have been worse, and I mean they look absolutely useless. But Villa's under-21s apparently haven't played since the last round, which was obviously the round of 32. We beat Stockport County to get to this stage. They beat Blackpool on penalties after drawing 1-1 in that game. Unfortunately I can't go in and look at the stats in terms of individuals, possession, shots on target, all that sort of stuff, but they had a 1-1 draw away to Blackpool in the EFL Trophy, where they did obviously win on penalties, I think 18-17. They also had a 4-0 defeat at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers under-21s in the Premier League 2. Then they had a 4-3 win away to RB Leipzig in the UEFA Youth League. They also had a 3-0 defeat at home to Norwich City's under-21s in the Premier League 2, then a 2-0 defeat at home to Juventus in the UEFA Youth League again. So they're playing a lot of competitions. According to all the stats, they're not very good. it should be an easy win for Bradford City, but Bradford City never do the easy way. If we win this game, we're in a quarter-final again. Last season we got to the semis. Can we at least make the final this year? Before we do go any further though with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 50 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What is your score prediction? What would your starting 11 be for this match? Could we see a few players make their final appearance for the Bantams in this one against Aston Villa? In terms of my team then for this game, I've kind of gone with a 50-50 in terms of rotation and also getting the match winners in your squad as well. So I would stick with the 3-4-3 formation, 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it, with the box in midfield. In goal, I would go with Zach Hady. It's just my personal preference. I don't see why we wouldn't play an England under 18 or 19 international in these sort of competitions. Instead we choose to play our 40-year-old goalkeeping coach. I don't really understand it personally. If Zach Hady is such an exceptional young talent, which England clearly see him as, why are we not giving him minutes in this competition? We need to bring in a goalkeeper this transfer window, because I think Sam Walker's been really poor so far this season, but I would like to see Zach Hady get a chance and then we can actually see what he is all about. In terms of my back three then, at right centre back I would go with Callum Johnson. He's been on the bench in the last couple of games, unfortunately hasn't quite gotten onto the pitch, but now he's been back in training for around a month or so. He surely must be fit enough to get a start. Even if he comes off at half time, getting 45 minutes under his belt will be really important for him on a personal note, because obviously he's not kicked a ball yet in Bradford City colours. In the middle I would go with Neil Byrne. I don't quite think Paul Huntington will be back for this one. He should hopefully make Saturday's game against Carlisle, which is obviously more important than this one. The league will always be more important than the EFL Trophy, but Neil Byrne for me, I do see him being a bit more of a backup for Bradford City. If we get promoted this season, I then see him being sold in the summer. I don't really think he's good enough to play in League 2 for the Bantams, so it definitely won't be good enough if we get to League 1, obviously depending on how the remainder of this transfer window does go. But Neil Byrne, I like to see him get a start just to keep things fresh, rotate around and all that sort of stuff, although in the last game which he played against Barrow, I do think he was pretty poor in. At left centre back I have gone with Kieran Kelly. It is a little bit of a toss up between him and Shepherd, but for what I've seen recently, Shepherd seems to play a little bit better in the middle of the back three rather than on the left side, so I'd keep Kelly in on that left side. You could even rotate their minutes, give them a half each, or give Kelly 60 minutes and then Shepherd 30. I don't really mind how we do it. I don't think either of them really need to play 90 with the centre-halves that we do now have available, and obviously Kelly kind of semi-recently returning from that 3-4 month injury, so we do need to be a little bit careful with him, and I want him to play against Carlisle, so I wouldn't really risk more than an hour with Kieran Kelly. In terms of my midfield four then, at right wing back I would go with Jay Bennett. It'll be nice to see him get another opportunity. Obviously we've not seen him in a matchday squad for a couple of weeks now, and as we know there was no option for Lincoln to recall Jay Ben in this transfer window. I don't know if we can send him back, but it sounds we've structured this loan deal very similar to Rayhan Tulloch last season, where we can't actually send him back to Lincoln unless they pay up the remainder of his contract, which would seem a little bit daft. So Jay Ben's here to stay for the remainder of the season, and that's certainly how I understood it from what Graham Alexander said in his pre-match press conference. And obviously Halliday recently has been back to his best. This is a real opportunity for Jay Ben to work his way back into the side, because I do think he has been pretty poor over the last couple of weeks. In terms of my two central midfielders then, at first I will go with the captain at Richie Smallwood. With Corey Evans being released, we've not really got a natural holding midfield, and obviously we've got quite a lot of players cup tied. All of our new signings so far at the time of recording are cup tied for this game, so it does mean Smallwood is going to have to start again. He might even end up playing the whole match, which I don't really mind. He's more than fit enough to do so. Even at 34-35 years of age, I think he's more than competent enough to play 90 minutes Saturday, Tuesday, because his game isn't really built on pace. Partnering him in there, I would go with Alex Patterson. Like I say, with 3 of our 4 new signings who are cup tied being central midfielders, you kind of have to go with what you've got available. So I'd play Alex Patterson. I wouldn't give him more than an hour though in this game. I don't really see a reason why we would need to do that. We're going to need him on Saturday against Carlisle on their big pitch. We need him to be as fit and fresh as possible. So I would give Alex Patterson an hour in this one, and then you look to bring on some of the substitutions in there, because we do have options who can play in that position, but hopefully by the hour mark the game is already won for Bradford City, and then we can bring him off. That'd be obviously a nice luxury to have. Left wing back, I would stick with Lewis Richards. I think Tyreek Wright is still injured. He obviously came back for one game, which was maybe Chesterfield or Port Vale. He came back for one of the two. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, and then I think he redid some sort of injury, so he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. You could maybe play Clark-Ador in left wing back, but with the form that Lewis Richards has been on recently, again, I don't see a reason why you would drop him. Maybe even if you're only playing for 65-70 minutes and then you bring Clark-Ador on in that position, I wouldn't be against that, because as we know, Carlisle, very big pitch, and Lewis Richards struggled with his fitness last season. We've not really seen that too much so far this campaign, which I think is very good, because he did pick up quite a lot of injuries last season. I don't think he's had one at all so far this season, so that is very positive news from a personal note, obviously, when we do refer to Lewis Richards. As my two number 10s then, firstly I will go with Anthony Sarcevic. Again, he's in a similar position to your Pattersons, your Richards. Don't really play him for more than 70 minutes, maybe an hour if he can manage that. I think obviously he's got the quality, knows where the back of the net is, can score a goal, likes playing in these big stadiums, but again, 32, 33 years of age, we don't want to overplay him. I know that we've just had a big break, but that game on Saturday away at Carlisle is more important than this one, so I wouldn't really play him for any more than at 70 minutes. And partnering him, I would go with Bobby Poynton. Again, we've got a lot of options to play in there on Saturday, but in this one against Aston Villa, obviously a lot of them are cup tied, so Poynton again, I guess, would have to play in this one. You could maybe go Ador or Jamie Walker, but I'd like to see them both be used as kind of fringe players between now and the end of the season, only really used when needed. And with Walker's big wages, it wouldn't surprise me if he is to leave the football club at this transfer window. He might get a start in this game. I wouldn't be against that, just with his poor form so far this season. I don't think it's necessarily worth starting someone like Jamie Walker, because I don't think he's necessarily earned it. A lot of these players are a reason why Bradford City are in the EFL Trophy Round of 16, so why would you then give Jamie Walker a start when he's not really earned it? Although he's been a very good player in the past, this season he's just not quite been at it for me. And as my striker then, this was very hard for me to select, in all honesty. In the end, I have decided to go with Callum Kavanagh. I see Michael Mellon starting against Carlisle, so I'll give Kavanagh an opportunity in this one. I'd only give him 65-70 minutes, and if he's not done enough in that one, I would then bring on an Oliver Smith, potentially, I guess, who is on the bench. But the reason why I wouldn't start an Oliver or a Smith is similar to my point about Walker. They've not really contributed to us being in this position, and we all know that Oliver's transfer listed. Smith, we also kind of want to get him out the door as well. So Kavanagh, while I think he could be a good player in the future, this season he hasn't really shown it in a Bradford City shirt, but in the previous round did get a brace, did get an assist as well, so I would like to see him get the start in this game, and we'll see what he's all about. That high press as well on a big pitch could be quite important. On the bench now for me, that would leave Sam Walker, Brad Halliday, Aidan Baldwin, Jack Shepherd, Clark-Ador, Jamie Walker and Verden Oliver. The players currently unavailable are George Lapsley, as he is cup tied. He only played 30 minutes in the EFL Trophy in a 2-1 defeat against Peterborough, but he did play, so he is cup tied. Brandon Kaler had 2 appearances in the Football League Trophy. One of them was a 5-4 penalty loss against Walsall, the other was a 4-0 win against Shrewsbury. Michael Mellon is also cup tied after playing 45 minutes against Bradford City in the previous round at Fort Stockport County, and Tommy Lee is also cup tied as well, as he played in all 3 of MK Don's group stage games. He lost 2 of them and won 1 on penalties. Also unavailable is Paul Huntington, who should hopefully be back on Saturday. Tyreek Wright might be back for the Walsall match, and as we know, Andy Cook is out for the season. So players who miss out then through selection will be Colin Doyle, Gabriel Wadsworth, Tyler Smith and Harry Ibbotson. That felt like a lot. It felt like I've just given you a lot of information there. It felt very fast paced. I do only apologise if it's too fast for you. Rewind and watching 0.75 speed. I can only apologise. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, get your thoughts in the comment section down below. Apologies for no preview for the Grimsby match. I was just far too busy on that day, but we're back now, ready. Thank you for 400 subscribers. Yes, that's one thing that I forgot to mention as well. Thank you for that. And Corbyn's back uploading, so go check out his videos as well.